Hello. Good evening and welcome to, happens every time, I've got a new visualizer, so I'm hoping, oh, okay, it's been cancelled. Okay, got to start a sign up saying it was cancelled. All right, well, hello, welcome to, says she with confidence, the Bubbly Maths. I'm Caroline from Bubbly Maths, sorry. I'm Caroline from Bubbly Maths presenting aiming high resources for INSEC in the Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages. Oh yes, success, okay. Right, we've got me looking grumpy again. So I'm just going to share that on the, as a, what's that word again? As a watch party. I'm going to share it as a watch party and then we're going to move over to do tonight's activity. So tomorrow morning we're going to be doing an activity as usual at 9 o'clock London time called Tangram activity. It's a Tangram Puzzles and we're going to actually learn how to do a Tangram. We're going to learn that right now. We're going to do it again in the morning. What you need is a pair of scissors and some paper. And I'm going to just now, hopefully, oh, that's right, I've got to, for the watch party to work, it's just taking too long. It's taking way too long, so I'm not going to worry about the watch party. I'm just going to go share my screen with you. So we can learn how to make a Tangram at home, which is an activity in of itself. It's lovely. So I've got some just normal paper here. I've got my new visualizer. I'm hoping, I'm just getting familiar with it. I'm hoping you can see enough of what I'm doing here. And what I'm going to do is, this is a normal sheet of paper. So I'm going to fold it over because we need a square. To make a Tangram, we need a square. And the way you make a square, for those of you that don't already know this, is you fold paper over. Now that is two identical triangles face to face with each other. So that's your line of symmetry right there. And then we can fold this over again, make sure that we have a nice line. Now, if you have some card, that's better than paper. If you have newspaper, that's fine. Whatever you've got to make our Tangram. I like to use colour paper if you've got it, or plain paper and colour it. It's just, it makes it a bit easier for you to see on the visualizer if I have coloured paper. So I'm now going to cut this out. And what this piece that I'm cutting out, of course, is a rectangle. And whilst we're not going to use it for the puzzle, you can make at least two little Tangrams, smaller versions of the same Tangram with this sheet of paper. You can use it for other things. I don't throw nice rectangles away. I keep them. I've got a little folder that I keep all my rectangles in. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do, now that we folded that over to make our Tangram, I'm going to just make sure I've got make sure that because it's live, I can sometimes I can make errors. So the first thing we're going to do is fold this back over the other way. And fold it nice and carefully right into the two halves there, but we're not going to flatten it like we did the last one. We're just going to make a nice indentation so that we know where the halfway point is. Now that we know where the halfway point is, we're going to take one of these other vertices and fold it over right into that central point. Fold that over nicely, and we can now cut this off, and that will be our first triangle. Now, notice what kind of triangle it is. These two edges are the same. That's 90 degrees. We know it's 90 degrees. It's a right angle because it's the corner of a piece of paper. These two are the same. That's longer and that's 90 degrees. So you can think about what kind of a triangle that is. Got a right angle and two of the edges are the same. Right, so that's our first part of our homemade tangram. Next one, next thing we're going to do, we folded this over and we only folded that center bit because we wanted to make this triangle without having a fold in the middle. Now that we've extracted that one, now we can fold this over all the way. Make sure you get it nice and even to make your Tangram puzzles easier to, the more accurate this is, the better your Tangram puzzles will come out. And then you can now choose, look, I've got a boat, ha-ha! Go swimming in the sea. Now you can choose if you want to cut off the big triangles or cut off this trapezium at the bottom here. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the two big triangles. All tangrams have two big triangles now. You notice what angles these are here. Altogether it's 360 and one's folded in half, the other is folded in half again. So that tells you what these angles are here, which tells you something about the triangles that I'm cutting out. And let's see if they are equilateral as well. Okay. And now I'm going to fold those in half. So this was the center point of a square. And all of these three edges led from the center to the vertex of that square. That tells you something about their length, whether or not they're the same length. So that's 1, 2 triangles and 3 triangles. Now we're going to cut up the last bit. So we're going to take the trapezium. We're going to take one wedge, the vertex of the trapezium, fold it into the center, make sure it follows the line nicely. Quite have that quite right there, Ty, because that shouldn't have that little flat bit there. We'll just have to do. So I haven't quite done all my cuts and folds exactly right. Now look at that. We've got 3 triangles, 4 triangles, 2 of the large ones, 1 of the medium, 1 and 1 of the small ones. I don't know if we're going to get any more. We're going to find out if we're going to get any more. But it's interesting to see what's the same and what's different about all these different triangles. So now we've got, just there, we've made a square. Let's cut that one out. Let's see what the next thing's going to be. A nice square. I'm going to put that right here. On that one edge of all these triangles and the square. Oh, and look at that. That square fits in perfectly within the larger triangles there. So there's lots of, that's how tangrams work. Now, this one is the one, here we go, I don't know how to do it. We fold, instead of taking the skinny vertex, we've got the end that's square, but we're not creating another square. What we're creating is different shapes. See if you can see what shape we're making. Maybe I should have a different color under here. Whee, that'll work. Now, folding that over there. See if you can see what shapes we're going to end up with. I'm not going to fold it. I'm going to unfold it for a moment. See what shapes you think we're going to end up with. And so, if grown-ups are watching this, sort of questions I'm asking, really great questions to be asking young learners when they're doing this with you. Of course, if you've got scissors with young learners, then make sure they save scissors. I use these scissors because I can do a better job. Now let's see, we have this pile of triangles. We had 2 big ones, 1 medium, 1 small so far, and how big is this one? Okay, so we've got 2 small, 1 medium, 2 large. We've got the square that fits on there, and then we've got this shape. Got this shape here. Which is parallelogram. Got 2 parallel edges there, 2 parallel edges there. And how does this fit in with all of this? I wonder how would we fit that in this particular puzzle here? Well, that in theory should fit in there. So now we've got our tangram. The first task is to put it all back together into the square that you started with. And then tomorrow morning there'll be other activities for you to do. I'll be putting a link to, let me just finish the live now. I mean, not finish the live, finish the sharing. Make sure I press the right buttons here. Stop share. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay, cool. Right, so you've got all the bits of your tangram, so make the square, and I'll be putting the links to the YouTube instructions as well, just to help you out. So if you are enjoying these videos and you are signed up to YouTube, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. So all of these resources, the ones we're doing now, are on the Maths Toys YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that in the description. And also the lives are going up on the Bubbly Maths YouTube channel. So please do subscribe to both of those. The links are always in the announcement, the pinned announcement, which welcomes new members. And then please do let people know if you find these lives useful. Please let people know about this group and maybe put a post on your Facebook with the link, or just share the lives that we're doing. That would be wonderful. Now, the other thing is the NSEC Facebook page. Please do share that as well. The NSEC is an organisation that trains teachers in rural that work in rural and disadvantaged areas of Africa. The end result of their work is that they are teaching children that would like to have an opportunity to help themselves out of poverty, and the way to do that is through education. And what AIMSEC do is they provide professional development for teachers that work. These are very dedicated teachers that work in these disadvantaged and rural areas, and AIMSEC provide professional development for them. In the process, part of that process is they've created this beautiful website called Aiming High, with some excellent activities that are low threshold, high ceiling activities. What that means is that people who are low attainers or younger can reach them at their level, and you can always be stretched a little bit. And you leave after you've done the activities with more understanding, more confidence, more enjoyment of maths, and then whatever level you're at, you can come in and be stretched to a higher level. And that's what these Aiming High resources do. And we're creating all these lives to promote them and to help people, because what's happening now, in addition to the resources for teachers, is all the lives that we're doing have a corresponding home learning resource, home learning activity, home learning guide for people that are doing maths at home. And this also will help the teachers, encourage them will help. It'll provides an extra resource for teachers as well, so they can put the families of the students, their learners, in touch with these videos, and they can do activities at home, whether or not they're going to school, which is helpful. So thank you for joining us. I'm glad I didn't manage to make the watch party. The internet's far too slow. So instead of that, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and do a watch party and have that running now. I can do that, can't I? Tangram Puzzles. I can actually watch the watch party. That might make a difference, something different. And let me see if anybody has come up with any comments. Okay, and I can't see it. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to just end the live. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will, oh, Terry and Aileen are already in the watch party. I will be watching the watch party and commenting with comments. Right, I'm just looking for a place where I can close the live. Here it is. Thank you so much for joining us. See you 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to actually do the Tangram activity. We'll make the Tangram again and then do a couple of the activities and share the details with you. I'm putting the links up on here now for you to download and prepare. All you need is a pair of scissors and a piece of paper. That's it. And at 10 o'clock, I'll be doing a similar activity for early years, but instead of, well, a grown-up can cut them up to this detail, to this accuracy, and it'll simply be young learners cutting up bits of paper and folding them and seeing, just experimenting, just becoming familiar with 2D shapes by cutting them and folding them and looking, will they fold in half, that sort of thing. And then tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we'll be doing a live preparation for Friday morning. Thank you for joining and see you tomorrow. Have a lovely morning, evening, day, night, wherever you are. Thank you.